Joining me now is Senator Chris Coons, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator, thanks for being with us. Today, you tweeted the president crossed a red line by firing Sessions. Doesn't the president, though, have the authority to fire anyone within his cabinet?
Anderson, he does have the authority to fire members of his own cabinet. What he can't do is fire members of his own cabinet and replace them with partisan loyalists going around the succession procedures for the Department of Justice in an attempt to influence or impede or end the special counsel's investigation. So if it's done for an improper purpose, he shouldn't be doing this.
CNN is reporting tonight that for Whitaker, ending or trying to suppress the Russia probe is not an option as of now. I know, you say he should recuse himself, but if he isn't trying to shut down or suppress the investigation, why would that be necessary? And do you believe, I guess, do you have any faith in him?
Well, I'm concerned because of comments he made, actually, ironically, on CNN just over a year ago in 2017 when he was hypothesizing about exactly this scenario, when he suggested that the president might relieve Attorney General Sessions and then replace him with an acting attorney general who, given his authority to control the budget, could squeeze the investigation and bring it to a halt. So, if Whitaker were to publicly state that he was leaving supervision of the investigation to Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and take action to confirm that, I think that would address the concerns that I and many other senators, both Republican and Democrat, have raised about this step.
That seems hard to imagine, though. Given the president's fury over Jeff Sessions recusing himself, the president has long said publicly, had he known that in advance, he wouldn't have even put Jeff Sessions in that job.
That's right, Anderson. He has said over and over both that he dismisses the ongoing investigation led by Robert Mueller as a hoax or a witch hunt, and that this was the cause of his sharp break from Jeff Sessions, who was his greatest loyalist in the Senate, his first endorser in the Senate, and someone with whom he was very closely aligned ideologically. It was because Jeff Sessions followed the ethics rules of the DOJ and recused himself that the president gradually became more and more publicly and privately furious at him.
How long could the president actually leave Whitaker as acting attorney general? Is it possible he could leave him in there overseeing the Mueller investigation until it's concluded? Is there a time limit by which he has to actually, send somebody, nominate somebody?
Under the Vacancies Act, I believe it's 210 days. So because he's not confirmed, the president should have followed the succession statute and put in the next person in line, but he didn't. He went around to someone who was not confirmed by the United States Senate. So he can serve in an acting capacity. I believe it's for 210 days. I'll remind you that will then take us, obviously, into the next Congress, at which point the majority by which he might then be able to confirm a new attorney general is likely to go up in the Senate. I'll also just mention, Anderson, partly I think what we're seeing here today is the president's mastery of changing the subject. We had a significant political win last night, a switch of at least 28 seats, maybe as many as 35 in the House. Democrats now will have firm control of the House in January, and that means the president's ability to legislate with both houses of Congress supporting him is at an end. This significantly weakens him, and as you saw in today's long and meandering press conference, he's declaring the election a victory when, in fact, he really decisively lost one House of Congress. And Democrats will now be able to compel much more transparency. Hopefully, we'll find a way to work together on important legislation. But the president now faces the end of one-party rule in Congress.
Do you think the president has a firm understanding? He doesn't have the experience of having had this happen, of what that actually means on a day-to-day basis, just in terms of his ability to get stuff done?
No, but I think many of the folks around him grasp clearly just what it's going to mean in terms of a likely barrage of investigations, subpoenas, requests for documents. I thought that Nancy Pelosi's press conference after last night's results extended an olive branch, made it clear that there's a number of important areas in infrastructure and health care and in drug pricing where there really could be constructive bipartisanship here between the House, the Senate, and the White House. The president today made some positive comments about her, but mostly was combative and suggested generally that if Democrats ask for things like his taxes, that he'll take on a war stance. I don't think he personally grasps exactly what it's going to be like if the House fully exercises its powers.
Senator Chris Coons, I appreciate your time. Thank you. There's no shortage of topics for our